to lean on Him, to trust in Him, and not trust in those things that have failed you. When the storm comes, don't mind the preacher. Don't mind the preacher. When the storm comes, don't blame God. Don't blame God. Amen. Don't blame God. Just trust God. Just lean on Him. I wish folks would quit blaming God. Listen, I wish folks would quit blaming God. Every time there's some kind of natural disaster, every time there's some kind of catastrophe, you hear it all the time. Everybody wants to blame God. Every time there's a hurricane come, everybody wants to blame God. Every time there's a tornado that comes, everybody blames God. Let me say this tonight or this morning. Hurricanes are part of life. Tornadoes are part of life. If you're going to blame anybody for the storms that come, start with self and then look to Satan. Storms come. They're a part of life. Sometimes they come because of our own disobedience. Sometimes storms come because of our own disobedience. Sometimes storms come because Satan is evil, because there is sin in the world, because this is an ungodly world that we live in. When the storm comes, don't mind the preacher. When the storm comes, don't blame God. Instead of blaming God, just hold on to God. Amen. Instead of blaming God, just get close to Him. Just lean on Him. Just trust in Him. When the storm comes, what not to do when the storm comes? Don't mind the preacher. Don't blame God. And don't bail out of the boat. Amen. Amen. Don't bail out of the boat. Let me read 2 verses. Verse number 30 and 31 from Acts chapter number 27. And as the shipmen were about to flee out of the ship, when they had let down the boat into the sea under color as though they would have cast anchors out of the foreship, Paul said to the centurion, to the soldiers, except these abide in the ship, you cannot be saved. Don't mind the preacher. Don't blame God. And don't bail out of the boat. One of the biggest mistakes that folks make in life is when the storm comes, they bail out of the boat. When the storm comes, they bind the preacher, they blame God, and they abandon ship. Don't bail out of the boat. Don't bail out of the boat. No time to abandon ship. In these verses, it wasn't time to get out of that boat. Paul simply told them, unless you abide, unless you stay in the boat. If you get out of the boat, you're going to be in a world of trouble. Look around this morning. A lot of folks, when the storm came, that's what they done. They bound the preacher. They blamed God. And then they bailed out of the boat. Paul sent them a stern warning. Paul said, unless you abide. Lest they abide, except they abide in the ship, you cannot be saved. You know what's wrong with churches today? You know what's wrong with people today? They bind the preacher, they blame God, and they bail out of the boat. You know what would have happened that day? If those soldiers or those prisoners would have bailed out of that boat? Surely, Paul says they couldn't be saved. Surely, if they would have bailed out of the boat, they would have died. You know what's going on today? You know what's happening to our brothers and sisters? You know what's happening to the church crowd today? They bailed out of the boat. And if you bail out of the boat, let me tell you what's going to happen. If you bail out of the boat, if they would have jumped out of the boat, they'd have been swallowed up by the sea, wouldn't they? You know what's wrong with people today? They bailed out of the boat. And they've been swallowed up by the sea of this world. They've bailed out of the boat. They've given up on church. They've abandoned ship. They bound the preacher. They listened to what the world had to say. They chose the world's words over the words of the preacher. They put the preacher in a position where he couldn't help. Then they blamed God. God, it's your fault. God, all because of you, I'm in this storm. God, it's your fault. God, I shouldn't be here. God, I deserve better than this. My, oh, my, oh, my. They blamed God. Then you know what they done? They bailed out of the boat. I said, that's it. I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances. I don't need a church. I'll take my chances. I'll be all right. You know what? When they bail out of the boat, they get swallowed up by this world. They get swallowed up by the cares of this world. You know what would have happened to those men if they would have bailed out of that boat? They would have died that day. You know what happens to folks today when they bail out of the boat? They die. Maybe not naturally. Maybe not immediately. They don't die. But spiritually they die. Spiritually they die. When you bail out of the boat, Paul said, except you abide. Except you abide in the boat, you cannot be saved. Those that bail out of the boat, let me tell you what they're jumping into. You heard an old phrase? Yeah, you heard the old phrase, out of the pan into the fire? You ever heard that? Let me tell you what they encounter when they bail out of the boat. Let me tell you what they're jumping into. They're jumping into death, destruction, and dismay. That's what's waiting for them. You think it's rough on the boat, try jumping out of the boat. Them folks, listen, that bound the preacher and that blamed God and bailed out of the boat, they've never had it as rough as they have it now. The most miserable person you'll ever meet is a Christian out of fellowship with God. When the storm comes, don't bind the preacher. Don't blame God, and don't bail out of the boat. Safety is aboard the ship. Safety is aboard the boat. Don't bail out of the boat. Stand with me this morning if you will. That's the message the Lord has given me this morning. Sister Bunny, if you would, verse or two of a song. What not to do when the